As the story opens, Tracy is 17 and fighting to take care of the changes that have shaken her loved ones. She's struggling, too, with the wild that's inside her, making her hold on ordinary life tenuous at best. Tracy Petrikoff, that informs this haunting story, is a young woman who doesn't actually fit in anywhere, not even at the close-knit family she loves.
For most of her life, she's been happy, living in what seems an ideal setting on the edge of an Alaskan forest. Her parents have been mushers, raising, training and racing sled dogs. Tracy, like her mother, has a strong, natural connection with the dogs. She is allowed to wander the woods, where she learns to hunt, trap and kill animals.
Tracy and her mother have always had a special bond that sets them apart, something neither her father nor her younger brother share. Her mother has given her some very specific rules to live by. But Tracy's mother, after months of internal struggles, was killed by a passing car when she was walking along a dark highway near their home the year before. Since her mother's death, everything has gone awry.
Tracy's father, trying desperately to be a good parent to both his children and to keep afloat financially, has sold off many of the dogs and dropped out of racing. Tracy faces the prospect of not being able to realize her long-cherished dream of winning the Junior Iditarod sled dog race during her last year of eligibility and then, as soon as she turns 18, competing in the big race.
Tracy is also struggling with the realization that, without her mother, no one understands the primal urges that drive her, her physical need for the wild, the way blood affects her. She ignores her mother's rules more often than she should.
Though she loves her father dearly, the two of them find themselves in conflict. Her combative behavior gets her kicked out of public school.
Already trying to make sense of her changed world, Tracy doesn't know what to do when she's briefly knocked unconscious by a stranger who suddenly attacks her in the woods. She doesn't tell her father about the encounter that day. She doesn't tell him the next day, either, when a man with a knife wound staggers into their yard. She wants to protect the people she loves, but often she doesn't know the right way to do that. Headstrong and driven by urges she doesn't fully understand, Tracy tells lies and makes decisions that thrust her, her family and some of the people they care about into ever more precarious situations. There are dangers in the woods and even closer to home.
Jamie Bradbury's prose is beautiful, rich with descriptions of the Alaska wilderness, the dogs, and all that's in the dark and frozen forest. Tracy's ungrammatical narration is a bit jarring at first, especially since the rest of her family doesn't talk that way, but after a while it comes to seem further evidence of how Tracy is different, never really comfortable in civilization. Tracy's headlong charge into bad decisions and deceit can be maddening, but there's always something about her that makes the reader care what happens.
This is a coming-of-age novel and a gripping psychological suspense story, but it's also a story that's hard to fit into a specific genre.
Readers should know that there are elements of horror and the supernatural and the wild inside and some passages that might startle or even shock them. But all in all, it's worth going along for the ride.
Linda Sebrinson is a longtime newspaper journalist in the Triad area who now writes from Currituck County. Her book review blog, Briar Patch Books, can be found at